What up, peeps? Welcome to the thekisscapadespodcast. I'm your host, John Telewa, aka thekissbandit. And in this show, we explore the key elements that shape our fulfilling existence. From health and well-being to financial success, meaningful relationships, and the pursuit of happiness. We cover it all. Our guests include experts, professionals, and everyday individuals who have remarkable stories to tell. Tune in to learn practical tips, gain valuable insights, and discover strategies for personal growth and transformation. Whether you're seeking to improve your health, build your wealth, enhance relationships, or find lasting happiness, we got you covered. Welcome to today's episode. So another amazing episode with a very special guest, of course.
Yes, sir.
We had to get him on the podcast. You know? We've been trying. It almost never happened. But thanks for coming through.
Anytime. This is actually my first podcast of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Because even you taking your time, because you're a busy person.
Well, yeah. Artists are always busy, ever.
That's a good thing. So for people who don't know you, just do an intro, like tell the people your name and what you do, and then I'll take the conversation from there.
All right. My name is Faiz Francis Ouma. I'm an artist who is an actor and an entrepreneur.
When you say artist, does that involve music, or are you just talking about arts in general?
Arts in general. So I'm an artist because I create. Yeah. So that makes me an artist who is an actor and an entrepreneur.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now the thing is, I don't watch like a lot of local films, and not in a bad way. It's just because,
I was almost bashing you.
No. Let me explain. But it's because like now we have so much like on the internet, and then, even like, I'm sure even maybe you at some point before you got in the industry, but I don't know how long you've been in the industry. I'm guessing a lot with your experience.
This is my 6th year professionally.
Wait, but when you were young, were you
in
the industry acting?
No, I wasn't in the industry. So I got in the industry immediately I was done with high school.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing you used to do high school drama?
I did drama in high school. We never went to nationals.
Really?
Yeah, I never went to nationals. But I did a cultural solo whatever. Then I was given the second runners-up soloist.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Apparently I can sing,
Wait, this is singing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cultural dance. So the school I was in, we didn't have, drama was not so active. Yeah. So actually we were the pioneers in the school. It was a mixed school.
Which school?
St. Dominic Rabango. It's in Homa Bay County, Rangoe.
Yeah.
It's next to Orero High School. That's where I started from, Orero High School. Then, shit happened. Then I was taken to a mixed school. So, happened on Nili Thrive. I did that. But I remember, I think the first time I ever interacted with drama was in primary school, games time. Shout out to Mrs. Mbulemu. I was just, hanging out. I was very, very mischievous, by the way. I was just hanging out, games time. And then she's like, so in school I was called Francis Ouma. I don't like that yet.
Why?
Because for a long time I haven't been, I just don't resonate with it. Anyway.
Why it's too formal?
Although my initial names, the names I was given when I was born is Faiz Gulam. Because we have a Muslim kind of lineage.
Background as well.
Yeah, background. So I was named Faiz Gulam. Then wakanipeleka Ocha. So then my grandpa kasema, you know what? Francis Ouma. So when I grew up knowing myself, nikasema hii jina, I wanted. So Faiz Francis Ouma.
Proper. So back to, you said like there is a teacher who...
Yeah. Then I was given a narrative to go cram. Yeah. And then we go for the auditions. Yeah. We were two. So we were supposed to pair. Boy anaitwa Musioka. I can still remember his name. He was a stammerer. So we paired, kashika lines, we went for the auditions, we didn't get it. The ladies waliishinda. But I really wanted to do this. So nikasema neza pata pati yote. So in the narrative, I remember ilikuwa about environment, growth, nini. So I was that guy hapo backstage. Hapo tu nyuma ya backdrop. Wakifanya hivi, there was a line. So wakifanya hivi, upandisha hivi, flowers, zina grow. I enjoyed that. So that was my first time interacting with the drama fully. But deep down, I think even when I was just young, I wanted to be in front of the camera.
But what were you watching? Like maybe on TV or entertainment? What were you consuming as a young kid?
As a young kid, I was consuming a lot of soap operas. You know, mkiwa primary, zile Storm of
Mexican,
Paradise, exactly. And my mom introduced me to entertainment fully. Because my mom anapenda entertainment kabisa. So I remember every morning, tukiamka before tupeleke shule, ateka Kiss 100, nini. So nikaanza kusikiza actually aliniintroduce to bongo. Mamangu anapenda Diamond.
Mario, of course, I'm sure Alikiba probably.
Of course. Yeah, so then usiku tulikuwa tuna watch hizo ma soap operas. And I can't really remember watching vitu kama Tausi nini. But I remember watching Tidy High. I really watched a lot of Tidy High. So I didn't really consume a lot of Kenyan back then.
That's what you see. So you can't blame me.
Okay, that was your point.
Exactly. That is why. That's where I'm heading to. That's where I'm going.
Red-handed. Yeah, for sure.
Even the way you've explained, I'm like, that's exactly.
That's it.
But now, like even for my case, like there's a friend of mine who was like, "Yo, you need to watch this series. You need to watch this series." Because I was telling them like I'm always looking for new people who are very unique and doing a lot of stuff. Right. And then she's like, try and like get even like, you know, people who are doing like local films and stuff. And it's so crazy because even like one of the shows, Volume.
Yeah, Volume.
I remember seeing, there's a friend of mine, his name is Ivan Odi.
Ivan Odi, yeah, he shot our intro. The intro sequence, yeah.
So he was editing that thing. And I remember that's like 2 years ago watching in his house. And then I'm asking him like, what exactly is this? So I wasn't paying any attention.
Right.
He's telling me he's shooting, there's something they're doing with Tosh. And then I'm like, so I'm not paying any attention at all.
Yeah.
So like now you can only imagine like 2 years down the line.
Exactly.
I have a friend who's actually telling me like, hey, by the way, you need to watch a local series, because I don't consume at all. Not in a bad way, but it's because there are so many different things we're interested in. So I'm sure people who enjoy that, they enjoy. Then a friend of mine told me like, just watch and then let me know what you think. So I go and watch the series and then I'm like,
was that like you officially, that was your first Kenyan?
Proper Kenyan. Yeah, like I even know people in names like friends who act, but I don't watch their stuff.
What do you watch?
I just the other Netflix stuff. Like now I'm watching like Alpha Males, and that's like an Australian or Spanish thing. But not in a disrespectful way.
I get it.
It's just that at times we enjoy different things.
For sure.
And, you know, like pick anyone in the industry, even Nick Mtuma, I've never watched any of his movies. That's my friend.
Actually.
But even for him, I'm sure if I ask him, have you ever watched any of my podcast? He will say no. It's not that he doesn't like, exactly.
Me too.
It's not that you hate someone.
It's
but
just
maybe,
not on your radar.
Exactly. But then now after watching, I'm like, wow, this is actually really good because I see how people actually have changed. Because me, when I stopped watching like local, is probably from Akina Tidy High, probably those days. And then just consuming different things. And then life happens. You know, if this is your 8 to 5, your interest is there.
It has to, because that is where you invest. That is your life. So you have to, you know, it's part of research. It's part of the work.
Exactly. But now after watching, I got like now more interested in like what a lot of people do.
Have you watched more since then?
Not too many.
Okay.
Not too many.
But
I mean, if somebody tells me something is nice and I watch it, I'll be like, yo.
Right.
But you know, rather than now I go and watch a whole collective of so many other things.
Yeah,
and then
Yeah, it's not in your
And then,
frequency.
somebody's even telling you, "Sambona ulikuwa unawatch hiyo. I want somebody to recommend
Right.
something nice." And then, but I saw like even just how you guys acted in like volume, and I really respect like how like everything was so professional, and even like getting into the roles, and now even diving now into like your role in volume. But we'll come back just to acting in general. Like preparing for something like that, is it like now just something that's natural for you, or it takes you time? Because I don't know how somebody can be able to prepare for such a character. Because I'm guessing you're not a thug in real life.
No, I've never been a thug.
Okay, no, but maybe the director was like, I know this person, by the way. It's just from like,
right.
Nini, but how do you prepare for such a character?
What comes natural is the talent. Now you have to put in the work. Now the work is preparing for that character. So that is where the work is. The work is not on set shooting, because it's like preparing for your day. Because remember, you have to embody the character. That means you're gonna live their life for that amount of time. And that's what I did. Immediately I was given the role.
Given like a script you're supposed to go through? Or?
Yeah, that's after the audition. Okay. Now you're given, we have a table read. So after the auditions, maybe we can have like the first callback, the second callback, maybe the third. And then now that when the final cast is there, you come for a table read. A table read is when you're introduced to the rest of the characters. You're introduced to the story fully. Now you start to know what are we doing? Who is this person? You interact with the character. You interact with the director, the crew. So it's like an orientation of the character. So from there, now you start the work. You break down your script. You check out your lines. So we don't cram lines. You have to learn your lines, because when you say them, it's like if I'm given a character, if I have to play you, for me, I read the lines frequently to understand, because there's something called subtext. Subtext is like the emotion behind the line.
Okay.
So when I'm saying hi, there's a subtext, there's an emotion behind the hi.
That you have to express.
Exactly. So that is what I have to learn, so that when I'm on set, when I say these lines, they sound authentic. So I breathe life to them. Yeah.
The lines, do they have to be exactly what's on the script? When you're saying or expressing them, they can come like in your own way, as long as it's like tied to the script.
As long as you don't throw away the character or the intention of the character, or maybe also it depends with the writer. But from an actor's perspective, definitely I'm not gonna say the lines as they are on the script.
Okay.
Some lines, but I have to have the context, the intention, so that when I say the lines, even if nimebadilisha kitu kidogo, bado sijatoka kwa what we are trying to achieve. And of course, writers are so selfish with the words. And nimeanza ku understand bona, because maybe unajua akiandikia line anataka useme venye iko. But squeezy, because of collaboration and we all creating. So mnaelewana tu. Especially for me, when I'm given a role, I usually have to have a conversation with the writer, because I believe that's like the soul creator, the foundation of the story. So I have to understand their perspective. What was the goal? How did you see this character? Then when I go to work on the character, we tunapatana katikati.
Now, even saying that, you've said like maybe being in the main industry, it's 6 years, right?
Yeah.
And before those 6 years, because we're saying maybe 1 year before COVID or something. Because that's really fresh, by the way.
That was 2019. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you're doing, maybe formal work, before you got into like now main? I mean, I always ask people that because I think that also like before you figure out like your lane, you're like, this is what I'm doing now.
Of course.
I mean, what else like were you doing before now you tapped into?
Before. So apparently, this has been my plan A from the word go.
Oh.
The first time nilidivert nikaenda kutafuta kazi. Niliifanya for a week. Then I saw an audition. Nikaenda. So inamaanisha I can't work, siwezi rudi hapa tena.
Yeah.
So niliacha kazi and I also didn't get the role.
But what was the job?
Nilikuwa na feel we were feeling it was a kienyeji job.
No. A job is a job first of all. Let's start with
now
that.
That I'm thinking about it, because tulikuwa tunajaza maji kwa bottles kaa hizi. Na ikuwa kampuni ilikuwa tu backyard fulani. Just some backyard. So tulikuwa tuna fill maji kwa nini. So I was part of either na fill or na mimi ndo nafunga and then you seal it nini. Yeah, that was my first job outside art.
Okay. And you know why I'm even asking that? It's because let's say, and even that period of maybe after finishing school, did you study anything else in between?
No.
Okay. And then okay, so just
I left school on Friday. On Sunday I was looking for acting gigs. So I went to Uhuru Park with my friend. Kutafuta ajalipia nini? No,
it's not about the advert. It's because on the screen itatokea kubwa. So even if you sip, it's okay.
No pressure.
No problem.
On Sunday nilikuwa Central Park actually with my friend anaitwa Kate. Nilienda kutafuta acting gigs. Because I think I was like so hungry. I was so hungry. Mimi nilikuwa tunataka kuact. Hakuna kitu I wanted to do. So ndio nikaenda. I think that is where my journey started. Nika fumble my way through the top. That was set books.
Oh wait, so that's like theater.
Yeah,
you did that as well.
Yeah. I've done theater. That's like
national
my
theater
basic,
or
of course.
What?
Of course.
Okay.
I'm even part of a theater company called Miller's Productions. Yeah, I'm one of the creative directors. So theater is like my foundation. That's why I went fast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So by the time I was doing volume, I was theater. Actually, my friends call me theater art
because that's
just where I wanna be all the time.
Okay, and even like now, of course, busting into the industry, would you say volume is like the breakthrough character for your career, or there are some other ones maybe? Because that I'm not even aware of.
Yeah, I get it. No, I'd say volume is escalated it. My first one was Sincerely Daisy on Netflix.
I haven't watched that one.
Yeah, sure. That's Nick Mutuma's.
Really?
So in my generation,
okay.
we were the first actors to have their film premiere on Netflix.
What?
Sincerely Daisy. We did it in 2019, I guess. Because at that time, there was a competition. They were looking for the superstar. It was called The Next Superstar. So I went for the audition. Of course, ukisikia Nick Mutuma hapo, you have to show up. Nikaenda, nikafanya the first batch, got the call back, nikaenda the second one. Kumbe kwenda the second one, it was a competition. Hata tukua tunajua hapo Nick Mutuma alitukoseanga. Anyway, so tukaingia, tukashindana. Then I was number 3. So the merit was unaenda, you get a role in a movie. The movie was Sincerely Daisy. So that was my first time on Netflix.
What? That's crazy. And that's just you. And that's what I'm saying. Then it's just like a natural thing for you.
Exactly.
Okay. And once you get like a calling like that, it doesn't matter like what else is on the side. You'll always like just pursue that.
It doesn't.
Okay. So now, like your parents, did they always like just support arts? Because from any background, especially like just traditional backgrounds,
African,
they're always just thinking like these things are just a joke. Ama you might not go like that far when you're doing them. But were they always supportive in arts?
From the word go, my mom was and still is very supportive of my art. But my dad, of course, alikuwa bado like hapana wewe. What are you doing? Until I think my dad come to acceptance by the time before, like a year before nifanye volume, this was because kuna hiyo time sasa between 2018 I was fully feeding on art. So nilikuwa naenda set books na travel, so naanza kuona kijana kona tu pesa.
He's actually taking
he's actually, and your time I didn't want to listen. Niko like I just want to act. So me I'm traveling nini. And my mom I think anapenda tu art. So alikubali from the word go. And then my dad said, I like, it's your life, you chose it, na naona ni kama it's what you really want to do.
Yeah.
So akasema why not? My bro has never come to any of my shows, even theater. Volume ndo ilikuwa ya kwanza kuwatch. And he was so impressed.
He was shocked, I'm sure.
Because part of the inspo, part of the foundation on building my character, bro ni gangster. So tumeka naye ni brangu mdogo, but he's street smart, ni huyo mse tu. So nilikuwa na boro. So that was,
he's even seeing like some characters. He's like, yo, by the way.
Actually, he was shocked akiona nikifanya vitu zingine, akole hii kitu ulifanya aje, niko like, so my sis, but my greatest fan ni my younger sis. Kwanza nendanga shule naambia umeona bro wangu, umemwona kwa wapi? But now they are really supportive.
Nice. I respect that. Okay, now another thing, like even now we're in a very tricky time, because now we've started seeing like even younger people who are starting to act through something like Instagram.
Right.
So they're not taking like the theater road, because like even theater, it's not picking everyone. Let's just be honest.
For sure.
Because like I think even Lupita, like a couple of times she didn't make it through like Nairobi theater. Some she got, some she didn't get, like some roles. But you can see where she is now. But now we're seeing like a new lane that young people are carving like through social media. But do you think that's possible for them to cross from like social media, how you see them acting in social media, and then getting into like some maybe close to theater or even like TV, the way you're doing it?
Right. I'd say not to dispute what they're doing, but if that's your way to becoming an actor, it's gonna take you twice the process. Because acting is so spiritual. Acting is, you have to embody a character fully. Si kitu tu teka camera hapo na useme let's go. So I think that is why the word content creation ikakam.
Okay.
Because this is like acting, lakini it's nile tu for fun.
But when you see those skits like online that people are doing like on Instagram and TikTok, what do you think about them? Like, do you see professionalism? You see like there's so many things that are going wrong or missing. You overanalyze things now.
I do. Actually, it took me a longer time to just accept that ikitu iko na acha tu flow nayo venye iko. And then because most of the time niko na jam, niko like unafanya nini? Unachafua kazi yetu wewe. You trying to take our jobs.
True.
But nikakam ku understand even though wanaji express, but then if you really want to be an actor, you have to put in the work which is beyond what you're doing. So what I just say about them is also what I've learned is when you wameanza kama content creators or just people who do skits, ukiwaongelesha unapata they want to be actors.
They want to.
So this is the first medium they find. So the few ones who want to pursue it, ideally utapata wanaanza ku put in the work. Because the type of shooting, the type of it's not the same.
Okay, true. But even like, let's say from just like what you're watching now, and I don't know if we have like enough production. I don't know how you call them, like studios, because see like there's
production houses. Yeah.
Production houses, like maybe Nick is doing his, and then kuna like Tosh,
primary,
and then anybody else who's doing like Nini. But do you think that's enough to pick like just people in the industry? Because now like anybody who's finishing school, if it's not music, they want to be, be in maybe
Content.
content.
They just want to be...
Yeah, like on the screen. They want to be on the screen.
Right.
So whether it's on Instagram, if that's not the case, they want to be in film. Because even now, like the person who told me like to watch the series, they said they want to act. But now, my only issue, because I was just telling them, because I'm not that kind of person who's like crashing people's dreams, but I'm always trying to ask people like, but what are you doing now? Because if you're not practicing, because even at least the Instagram person, they're practicing, they're doing something a bit. But for you, you can't just say you want to be an actor and there's nothing that you're doing actively.
It's going to end there. I want to be an actor. It's gonna end there. Yeah, so...
but do you think the industry has enough space for people who are finishing school? Because now everybody wants to be on the screen, unlike the way it used to be. Kitambo, it used to be like for a few chosen people with a calling.
I think the industry has enough space. There's always a space for the actors. Ni venye sasa kuna hiyo part ya kusieve. So like
people are serious.
So like looking at the industry at the moment, kuna a lot of productions zenye zinaweza take au actors nini. But sahi bado hatuna the legit, the honest productions that just wanna embrace hizi new talents bila, because kuna a lot of vices in the industry. Na target inakwanga the newbies. So you'll be taken in because, I just want to act. And then we come back to the conversation of I'm giving you the platform, which we've grown past that. We've grown past that. Ni venye sasa, actually, chenye inaendelea sahi kwa industry is civic education. Because we are trying to teach people how to approach acting professionally, because it's actually a career. So unapata umetoka shule, you just want to act, utaenda production fulani, watakufanya vibaya, and then crash dream yako. Because utapata most of myself and my friends or people I know, ama my generation of actors, so unajua like kuna kitu nimepitia ile liniumiza, ni venye haiku ni break. So the productions are there, but the productions that are there, mostly they're for professionals. If
you're coming there with like, of course, let's just be honest, you're competing in a lot of so many other people who are as hungry or more hungry than you.
Exactly.
So, and not to say it in a bad way also, but it still comes back to like Gen Z. Not so many people have the backbone to withstand, like, just because even on set, there's pressure all the time. You can't waste people's time. Exactly. Someone's like, yo, Bana, you have to get your character right, get your lines right, be there on time. When if it's meeting and discussions, like, you can't say wake up today and say like, I don't feel like coming to work. When people are expecting that character to be like on set.
You can't,
And a lot of young people, let's just be honest, not many of them can withstand the pressure. Sure. Not unless I'm wrong.
It's true. It's true because also a lot of DMs I get nizo za I wanna act but ukimuliza umedu nini, because unajua I think social media it's a plus to the industry, because and this is a mentality I used to have. Of course sai naelewa art ama naelewa the industry be different. So sai siko worried about the so many people in the industry, but now atukikam na hiyo Instagram, I think what matters now is, are you doing? Can I see something you're doing? Ataka unaifanya vibaya, but are you doing?
Let me see on Instagram. Is there anything that you've done? Ama where can we start from? Even if it's fine-tuning some things that you've done.
Yeah, that's the benefit yenye iko sahi. Iko, because kuna hiyo abundance, you can put it anywhere you want. You can put it TikTok, sijui wapi. But then for you to get to now an actor, for you now to be an actor, kuna tu process yenye, you can't skip the process.
Because I think, and you've heard people saying this, that the industry ikona like a lot of gatekeeping and you can't get in. And why are the same people just getting like roles and no new people are getting roles? But I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe you can give me like, maybe you can just chip in on that. It's because you pick people who are reliable.
Of course.
You pick people who will deliver. So for your case, I can see you have passion and everything, but I don't know if you can deliver.
Exactly, yeah.
Once I sign those contracts and then you disappoint me, you're letting down like a whole production team.
Yeah.
So it's safer for that person in charge of the production to pick people that I know. This one can deliver. This one can deliver. This one is going to go to social media to blast people if like things go wrong on set.
Yeah.
So I'd rather pick these people who can just withstand anything comes our way.
For sure. Aside from that reason, I mean, acting is a job. Acting is a career. Hakuna siku tenda hosi wambia daktari we nimekuona kwa hiyo si sana, si wachi wengine, because that's me at work. The more I'm on set, that's me working. The only challenge is maybe you've seen me doing the same roles, you've seen me doing the same characters, and people get bored. I mean, we need new things, nini. So I kind of changed that mentality, especially for me. Nikasema, I think it's me to do the work. It's me to keep growing, because I think the moment nimeanza kuwa stagnant, nimeacha grow, client ama audience ana notice, anaanza kuona, because they will always see umeacha put in the work. No, you're just doing it, and then sasa hapo ndio wana demand utoke kwa hiyo space, because umeanza you're no longer maximizing on the space, umeacha put in the work, so you're just doing it for the sake. But I'd really urge actors ama the audience watoke kwa hiyo mentality, because ni kazi yetu. Utaniona hapo forever probably, but now for actors, tukigrow nayo, I think tukigrow nayo tutatoka kwa hiyo, wataacha kutuambia nimekuona sasa, umeniona sana, basi enda watch mwingine ujue mi bado niko hapa.
Because even now my next question would be, like, let's say for your case, you've done like theater, you've done like, I'm sure like other TV shows. I think there is another one
on Showmax.
On Showmax. The one.
Kantai.
Yes, exactly. I think I had started watching that, but I didn't have enough time to finish it, which I'll go back and finish. But you've done Showmax, you've done Netflix.
Yeah.
But once you do something like you land on Netflix and you have like such a big role that's worked out well for you.
Right.
Now, is there pressure? Because now, what next? Because now you've done like the Netflix. Now, of course, audience are demanding for something more from you.
A lot.
And like just even the industry is like, okay, so what will he do next? Because we've already seen him Netflix. So like what would be like your next like level,
next for you?
Next level that you want to surpass?
Yeah, there's pressure, a lot of pressure. For me, I got the pressure the first time I was on Netflix with Sincerely Daisy, because I was just an actor, nikapewa platform, niko Netflix.
Yeah.
To make history. So that was a lot of pressure for me. And then what I did is I went back to work, nikarudi theater, nikafanya kazi, because my approach in acting is I put a lot of work that after I'm done with the set, I have to rest. Ni feel tena yo cup.
How long are you taking a break for?
So what I've been doing for the past years is 1 year I do film. The next year I'm not doing film, I do theater only. So ndio pia miss kidogo. Nimekuwa nikifanya hivyo. Alafu by the time I was doing volume, I think nilikuwa nisha kuwa star, nilikuwa nisha kuwa kwa hiyo zone, so haikuwa pressure anymore. And then it put me to a curve, because I haven't done, after I did volume, then I did Kantai.
Yeah.
Almost
that was afterwards?
Yeah, that was after.
Okay.
So after that, I think nikajidiscover vizuri, nika-realize I'm not just an actor, I'm an artist. And being an artist means I am creating work, I'm creating employment. Unlike being an actor, nangoja, writer andike.
And then they call you, they give you a call.
Exactly. So it took me through that curve. Yeah, you're an artist, so you need to run like an artist. Ndio maana nikaanza that is why I call myself an entrepreneur. So an entrepreneur means I'm investing in my art. So if I'm not acting, maybe I'm on theater directing, or maybe I'm content creating behind the scenes. So that makes me an actor. So sita ngoja ati, which I think the moment nilijirealize hivyo, ilinisaidia sana. And hii mwaka 2025, I'm doing my first solo performance at the theater.
Okay. Do you want to drop the date, Amma? That's
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I just drop now.
If you want to,
right. I'm doing my first ever solo performance in May, 31st of May and 1st of June. So nimekuwa mental health enthusiast, and being that I've been in that space, so I'm talking about how I got out of that space.
By enthusiast, you mean what exactly?
I mean, nearly go through depression, mental health, nini, then I got in. Bro.
Okay, sorry. What's on That's a silly question to ask, but because even like on my podcast, I don't know, but I didn't send you that because you didn't ask too many questions, but I focus on health, wealth, love, and happiness.
Intro.
Yeah. So, and most times I dissect, even when it comes to health, I always ask about like, not just physical, but mental.
Right.
But even what I know is like with most people who are in the industry, just entertainment in general, and things even with like acting. At times you've seen people going like through breakdowns, even like
most
online.
Of the time.
And we have to understand, Pia, like I've said this before, any person who's like an artist, you have to understand they're an introvert first before you see any other character, because this is somebody who isolates themselves to create something, to read, whether if it's a script, come up with a character, if you're a drawer, somebody who draws, somebody who writes music. Those are people who isolate themselves. True. And most of the time, they have to get deep in their head. So like when you're talking about something like that, what exactly are you talking about, especially when you say you're depressed? But what would depress you, especially when you got in the industry fresh and things seem to be like just going like your way, even though you have your own personal challenges, but what would drive you to that space?
So specifically what drove me to that space niko Netflix, mnanijua, alafu life haimatch, because unajua for the longest time industry yetu hailipi hivyo, and this is something our audience need to understand, that ukiniona Netflix, mimi mwenye nimedu volume mwenye niko Netflix, trust me, sijalipwa the same na msewa South Africa mwenye amedu Blood and Water, because our industry bado imekuwa ikiran na hiyo scarcity mentality. So tujakuwa tukipewa wathi yetu in the name of industry haina pesa nini, which ndio hiyo gatekeeping yenye ulikuwa unaongelea. So that it really took me to that space, because sikuwa na understand. I'm like, mimi ni star, mimi ni celeb, what's going on, mbona I match, mbona sipati job nini. So and I got into that space, nikakuwa depressed nini. Now when I got out of it, nikamwani turn into art. So nikaanza kuwa so interested in mental health, and then I understand as a creative, my mind is like one of the most powerful things I have, so I have to take care of it. And then I did my first show at the theater inaitwa Backstreet. Tulifanya, ilikuwa purely mental health, ndio maana show ndio maana naifanya May, because May ni time ya mental health.
It's a mental health month.
Exactly.
Okay.
We did Backstreet edition 1, which was purely mental health. So I think it's been a burning fire inside me just to talk about kitu, because naona venye nafanya creatives, we commit suicide, wasione get into drugs,
overdose and drugs especially.
And it's something, it's not my path really. So that is why nikakuwa enthusiast wa mental health. Nataka kujua more, niko kwa programs za mental health nini. And then 2025 ikakuwa the time that I wanna talk about me when I was in that space, so that I just wanna spread healing, kuambia mse unaweza toka kwa hiyo space.
And then also like another thing, because even just to piggyback on that, because I think even now you will see a lot of people, when they break down on social media, it's always about finances.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like even now, like I think maybe not unless like you're a doctor, even lawyer is not guaranteed. Even lawyers are not getting paid like, how they used to get paid. Yeah, they wear suits and everything, but they're not getting like much by the way. But even now still, because you're still in the same industry and things have not changed, right? But how are you still able to sustain yourself? Because, like even now, if I see on Netflix, not me, but like you have those friends, they've seen you on Netflix, but those 5K urgently or phone calls, they'll have to start coming now.
Immediately.
Now people have, those phone calls are coming. And at times it's people that actually your friends or family that will drive you to those spaces. But being that the industry has not changed, how are you just navigating to avoid like like getting into still the same space? Because the pressure is not going to reduce. It's still going to be there.
It's going higher.
Yeah, it's still higher. And I'm guessing because now, like I've said, when I ask, like what's now the next pedestal that you want to conquer? But it's not just you. It's now the people who are also constantly asking you like, oh, when is your next big nini? Utact tena. And then TikTok, you know how people are rude. People are so rude. Like, who you jacked 10 and nini. So I can only imagine. But how you just carefully navigating so that you don't get again into that. But we've seen if even people, and let's just take an example, like people who are like even abroad. And that's why I'm saying it's so sensitive for actors, because I don't really understand whether money is what the issue that drives them to that dark space. Because you have Charlie Sheen who was getting paid $1 million per episode.
For sure.
The other guy for Friends who committed suicide, he was also getting well paid. Even then they got like $1 million per episode. And we're talking about dollars. And then we come to who else was getting paid? Akina Robin Williams. And then unfortunately we have like there's this actor, I don't know if you saw, who's being interviewed by Larry Madowo. And I don't even understand, for somebody like him, he's acted for more than 20 to 30 years. But you see, he's still trying. He hasn't given up on his nini. So how are you still trying to navigate, being that the industry has not changed and it might take time to change? How are you navigating to make sure that you don't get into that space at all? Because responsibilities are getting more, I'm guessing.
For sure. So, unakumbuka nikwambia, I'm now an artist who is an actor. So, the moment I realized that, nikaanza kufikiri in terms of how can I bridge the gap between me and the clients? How can I create when I'm not acting? So, being an artist imenifungua akili to the point that I'm able, because me seem to an 8 to 5, that's not me at all. I have to, like, art is my, it's my 8 to 5.
That's your calling, and
exactly.
8 to 5.
So what I did is nilikachini nika map out what can I do when I'm not acting. Ni nini naeza fanya. We found an event. Mini co-found our event inaitwa The Vibe 254. So that's one of my avenues.
You've tagged it on Instagram.
Yeah. It is. It's there. It's called The Vibe 254. So mini one of the founders, niko kwa Miller's Production as one of the creators. So I'm doing things zenye zina concern art. I have content produced for content creators. Ile unam create idea nini because I eat entirely from my mind. So at the moment I discovered that ikanipea wide scope ya. I create designs za manguo nini. So ikanionyesha when I'm not, because the goal ideally is I wanna act when I want to, because when I have to create it lazima ikuwe art, siwezi tu come set nini. And since it takes a lot, because unapata hata unaweza kuona lipwa your $1 million, but when you're bringing something to life or someone to life, it takes a lot of you. So utapata actor ameshindwa kutoka kwa hiyo space. Maybe nimeshindwa kutoka kwa space ya Castro. So you lose yourself.
Because you've actually done it for so long.
Exactly, yeah.
That duration is, I'm guessing, months maybe.
Exactly. So you don't, huwezi jikumbuka vizuri, so unaanza kuishi life ya character. And then unapata,
that's crazy.
Unapata, umemalizana na hii, kazi next inakuja. Juu sina pesa, na jump kwa hiyo kazi next, sijajipatia time ya kushed off the character, to be myself, and then ni fill my cup, ndo ni go to the next one.
So you can actually end up getting stuck in a character in real life.
You can, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, Joker 1, Joker, Heath Ledger.
True.
Yeah.
True.
He was stuck in the character.
True.
Jimmy Carrey has talked about it. Venye, yeah, so ndo maana nasema chenye tunafanya is so spiritual, that when I realized that inaweza ni break, nikasema, so the goal is to act when I want, when the ikialign na myself, niseme now I'm ready for the next one. True. And for me to call that shot, lazima iside ingine ikuwe imealign, because unapata most of us kwa industry yetu, we take work just because unajua ndio na uwezi judge, because being in the space I understand. We leo uko na gig, kesho hauna. Unaweza go for 6 months bila gig, utadu nini? Gig ya ufale kikuja, you'll take it. You won't care ati sija. So unacha ku create, now you're just a puppet, unatumika tu ku bring characters to life, which is not who I am or what I want to do. Yeah, so the moment nilibridge your gap, I'm an artist and I'm gonna act when it is aligning and it's an important story that I need to tell. That's the next time utaniona on screen, because it has to make sense for me. So also pia chenye nisaidia, I have to say this, tunakuanga na hii pressure ya mtanisahau. So I have to do more work. So for me, what I say is, when I get that one character, I pour everything. Nikishaifanya, naenda napumzika. Na nika understand, mtanisahau, because I mean, when I put in the work, the more you see quality work, more than quantity, the more pia bayangu inaongezeka. Yeah, so it really grounded me, like a shape my career as an actor in the country.
Because imagine me, I've watched it 2 years later.
Exactly.
And I'm actually like, I was just intrigued. Mpaka I was like, what? I was just like, why is it only 6 episodes?
Exactly.
But it made so much sense. And then like, even just for the lead characters, I think, Benja, what's his name? Boogie. The lady Shiko. Most of those people, I've been seeing them on social media. But like for your case, I wasn't seeing you on social media.
Exactly.
But it's because you don't post much of like, the social media content. No. That's not you.
Yeah.
But for the other ones, I had seen, but I was like, I've never been interested to watch. Like,
exactly.
But now after watching that, I was just like, you know what?
Let me
just tap into this and understand it even more. And I think even like I think I've sent the other ones DMs invite, as well. So make sure I just tell them like, it's a safe and nice space here.
For sure.
So another thing that I wanted to ask you, because even after you've mentioned that, like even the wealth part, because we've already touching on that, I don't know how the compensation is once you do something like when you're doing like a role for any TV show, you do it for how many months? Like whole process from like script, audition, script, and shooting like till the last nini. Are we talking about what's the duration of doing that?
You can do a show for 4 years. I swear, you can do the same character for 4 years.
No, geez, now okay. Now the thing is, okay, you're doing it for 4 years. Okay, let me tap down into like now compensation. Will you be paid monthly? Would you be paid per season? Or how does the compensate or per day? How does the compensation work? And at this time, do you think it's fair how you're being compensated? Like it's good enough in that even if you're taking a break after a big role like in your Netflix show,
sure.
Is it sustainable enough for you until you get your next role? It's not
sustainable at all.
At all?
Let me tell you something about us actors.
Yeah.
By the moment project yangu inatokea, inapatanga hiyo do nilishaisha. Most of the time. Like 90% napatanga. By the time project inatokea, because they take, pre-production takes a while. Kuna zenye ziu take a year or something. So unapata ulinilipa mwaka, I mean natumia pesa, you have to live.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not sustainable at all. So also we have very, very greedy producers.
Yeah.
Wale wakona, they're just so bitter. Also tukona failed actors wenye haikuwork because of pesa, wakaingia kwa crew, unajua. Alafu unajua kama uli shift cause uko unalipwa vizuri, utapata hiyo pesa and then utakuwa like, sikuwa nalipwa hata sasa mimi. Is hurt people.
Okay. So now a question, like, we're not talking about your numbers in general. If you're acting on a professional Kenyan TV show, how much will you be compensated, and what does that cover for, like daily, monthly, or annually? How much would it be? Like just a regular person who's acting, somebody that we see like on the face of TV. Because even when you're talking about this on my podcast, people never want to discuss numbers, but how do you educate people who are coming in the industry? So
at the moment tuko na Kenyan Actors Guild yenye Kenyan Actors Guild yo, it's rebranding yenye imekuwa tu bullshit, imekuwa tu wasiwinya wa understand chenye wanajua wanafanya. Cause unaona ka friends wamekuwa kula from royalties. So that is the conversation that's going on in the industry at the moment.
We don't have royalties.
We have, bro. Otherwise ungekuwa unaona actors wana live life cause utaona project.
We don't know, there are no royalties size in Kenya.
Bado hiyo conversation haiko. Na it's because actors hatukuwa aware that tunafaa. So unajua producers wamekuwa like I'm
because as long as it
I'm doing.
Okay.
So ujui unafaa, alafu waka come up na excuses. But now what has happened is there's a shift of energy. Na actors wameamka. So what we do now is in your contract unaweka hiyo clause, royalties za kitu ndakuwa na get. So ndo maana tuko na Actors Guild. So Actors Guild, they do like a standard rate for the industry. So for example, I'd tell you, depending industry rates zetu, those I wana reshuffle, but imekuwa supporting analipwa like 25k an episode. Utapata maybe nini anakula ka 30k, which that should be the minimum amount. Basa juu the greediness, the scarcity mentality, yenye atutaki.
It can be less.
Bro, it can be ama inakuanga less.
No, hold on. And just understand where I'm coming from, because I'm not calculating that you're getting paid per episode. I'm calculating because you have to rehearse, get into character, and there's back and forth conversation. There's so much time that goes into, like by the time that one episode is out,
for sure,
that you will need more money, I'm guessing, as a person.
Definitely. To
just be, because I'm just thinking, if you're rehearsing and practicing and doing all those things, your mind has to be like, you're not thinking about like rent, you're just trying to focus on the role so that you perform like your best.
Kitu imekuwa kihappen in the industry for the longest time, tumekuwa tukifanya kitu because of the passion. We haven't been doing it for the business, because now ndo tunaanza ku understand the business in the industry, the business of arts. So when you understand the business of arts, unaanza kuquote different. So ndo maana nakwambia there's a shift of energy in actors, because it had to take us the actors kuamka kurealize wase ni kubaya, because our producers wamekuwa kijua but wamekuwa so ni sisi ndio to adjust. So ndo kitu imekuwa kiapen. So now I understand nikikam kwa set yako, the amount of work I put in has to be compensated for. I project place inaenda, I have to clear the project for as long as the project exists.
Anytime it re-airs again, you still get compensated. Unaona
show nilifanya Next Superstar. Yenye iliniingiza Netflix since early days. Hiyo project ime I think hadi last year. Na mtu tu anani-call ama anani-DM, mtu ananiambia, so I'm gonna vote for you. Niko like, for what? Atio nimekuwatch kitira, I'm like, wow. So unajua hapo the producer is still eating on it. So tungekuwa tunajua But anyway, those were dark days.
No,
so now,
but still, my concern is I thought producers and actors are supposed to be teamwork. Because I don't understand why as a producer I would do that to people who've given. They're feeding me. They're actually feeding me. The least you can do is like, instead of like, okay, put it this way, at least give someone a small percentage, even if
it is the least
you that you don't,
right.
Atikabisa, and it's re-airing, you're getting extra checks. Just give somebody some nini.
Now we know better.
Okay.
So trust me, like in the next decade, utaanza kuona actors wana live the life. Because now we know better, we understand the systems were put in place. So I can confidently say, like in like 5 years, actors na producers watakuwa best friends, because now we understand that even ndio kuko na unajua inaanza from chini. Actor hata ule extra mwenye anakam, bei yake ikipanda, yangu ipande, producer pia ataenda itishe do more. Aseme iya itoshi, I need more money, and then client adjust. Atasema so this is the rate,
fix it in your budget.
So sasa tumekuwa tunatoka kwa hiyo dark place, wase wanajirealize, so things are really really improving,
because that's the worst thing that can happen. And I think people have said it enough times, even from the States, other countries that we see, is be popular and like you've said, your life doesn't match, because now everywhere you go, and like now, like Showmax, Netflix, any mainstream nini, people nowadays, everybody has data on their phone. Even shags unaland to shags immediately, like guys already they know you because of a role. So you can't affect like an actor's mind like that and not compensate them in a way that at least it can buy them a little bit more of privacy, healthier lifestyle. And hizo vitu, they seem like basics, but even like, let's say mtu aseme hajakuwa na food kwa hawa, and there's a show like on TV, like that's the worst thing that can happen to you, But even though, let's think about, because we're still talking about like not just compensation, but just creating wealth in that industry. When you're acting or maybe getting like your compensation, and maybe let's say you land like an advertising gig here and there, are there like some different ways, like for your case, you've thought about like investing your money that's not just in arts, but like maybe channels that can give you passive income? I know it's just about financial literacy. I'm also big in that. But are there ways that you've thought about, like, okay, maybe once money is coming this way, if this is coming, or maybe you're already doing it, I put my money on this so that it still creates money, even if I'm not depending on the acting, and now I can be more passion driven. So that's why, like for my case, I can do my podcast the way
for fun.
And even let's say if you want to extend, say like, okay, not 12:30, I can come at 1. I'm like, because I'm not paying anyone studio time.
For sure.
I can do it because like now I have that freedom. But are there ways that maybe you've thought of, or people are investing money that it's working for them when they get compensated? And it just doesn't have to be like just directly like hand to mouth when you're getting it as an ini.
Especially last year tumekuwa na a lot of workshops zenye ndio maana nakwambia we are going through civic education. Kumekuwa na, even I think the guild ina work on that. Cause sasa mwenye alinifungwanga akili about this anaitwa Ruben Odanga. Ruben Odanga has done akona film. That's our latest film on Netflix. It's called More Fire. You're nimekuplug and I will check out.
You're in that as well?
No, I'm not.
Then I'm not watching it.
Ooh.
No. Listen. No, but if you're plugging me and you're telling me it's good, I'll go watch it. I'll go watch it.
Go watch it. Itakubamba. So aliniambia, Faiz, ukipata hizi pesa zenye mnalipwa, cause si ulipwa, unapata nimepata maybe for an ad or something. So akaniambia, but try have things you can invest in. So for me, najua niko na my retirement plans in place. Something like nikipata do neza invest kwa The Vibe, neza invest kwa millions, because these are my long term projects. And also nimeanza ku understand things to do with money market fund, where I can put my money grow up. So izo exactly
just finish and then
izo knowledge ndio tunaziget sahi. Because unajua the life of an artist pia ni crazy. Kukua star si rahisi, and it's hella expensive, very expensive, na it has to match lazima, so we can't back down on that. So ni sisi tu to adjust. So at the moment sahi actors wanna go through civic education to understand yourself more, na ujue the amount of things you can do to, because mi sipendi kitu ya mtu anakuambia huwezi survive on acting. Naweza survive on acting. I mean naweza survive on acting. So ni the only way I'm gonna survive on acting is when I'm doing it passionately. And doing it passionately, I understand it's doing it when it's aligning, when it's inatoka from within. Si ati nafanya juu ya do, because acting huwezi fanya juu ya do. Actually you can never pay an actor, you can only appreciate the chenye amedu. So we are going through tunaanza ku understand, atukieka pesa yako kwa sako, ukieka nini unaanza saa utakuwa unateseka hivyo. Exactly.
So now because I'm always like big on finances, I can advise you maybe just do a little bit of research on government bonds. Government bonds are really good and secure, and they start from like, now I think we may cap it to like 50 G's you can start investing. Kitambo it used to be 100, and then it used to be even more. Just research on it, because it's not like a bad channel, it's a really good channel once you understand it, because unajua there are certain roles that you might land, or certain maybe commercial. Let's say somebody gives you like 7 mic or something, unajua. So you have to know like where exactly you're going to put like the money. Nah, just the right things, so that you don't get scammed, you don't lose it when you're depreciating asset or something. Because let's be honest, like you've said, it has to match. There's some things you also want to spoil yourself with. But when it comes to money, it's not about how much you're getting paid. It's about what you do with what you're getting paid. So you have to know about high risk assets, low risk assets, but you also have to know things that, especially in the day and age that we're in, know about digital assets, things that you can monitor on your phone. It doesn't have to be like wines and spirit or a shop nini, because na floods zikuje vibanda, demonstrations, all those things can be spoiled and nini. But once you know how to work with digital assets, and even if you think about like the people who will have like the biggest amounts of wealth you can think in Kenya, maybe Kenyatta family, of course, like all those big honchos. You'll hear about shares, stocks, government bonds, and
actually
all those
learned
things.
About I think we learned 2 years ago, 1 year, that naweza buy shares hata za Safaricom, sijui na nini. Because hizo ni vitu. Also, what I understood is, now I know my next work, my next gig. Hiyo do na naweza hire. I can hire mtu mwenye anaelewa finances. Akam ani to work on that project, nimwambia this is the amount of money. Actually nilisha spot, so now na understand my next money. Najua venye nitainini ndio nisirudi tena kuteseka kwa place.
You can even get like a relationship manager. A relationship manager in the bank, at times they want to switch it to a different person, but you can just decide who the relationship manager. But a relationship manager knows the loopholes and all the advantages of certain investments. Of course, there are some that will have ulterior motives, or try kuambia chukua loan, take a credit card, not those things. But once you understand how to play around with money, it's a very, I don't know how I can tell you, but it changes everything around you.
It does.
Now that passion that you're talking about, everything you will do for passion.
For sure.
Everything. And I think like for somebody who's really talented like you, you will be able to, I don't know, the sky is just the limit. Because I don't even know like what you need, but the sky is the limit. So tap into government bonds, learn about mutual funds. These are things that personally I have personally working for me. Crypto is not for everyone. A lot of people are skeptical about crypto, but you have to understand, like if somebody like Donald Trump is talking about crypto, CNBC, you see them now, they have a special nini category for crypto markets. Just learn about how you can buy and sell. That's all you need. Don't get anyone in between. Don't get these scammers who are telling you, bring your money, invest for you. just learn how to, because you can do it by yourself. Buying
actually
and
got a
selling,
friend. I actually got a friend nikaanza hizo classes last quarter. Yeah, last year. Aliambia naweza kufunza hii kitu juu kama rafiki yangu. Pole pole. So amekuwa akinifunza naanza ku understand.
Okay.
Venye kitu na work. Yeah, so I'd say the shift of energy is really working, especially That's for good. Me. And now I totally know better.
Okay.
Totally know better.
That's good. Okay, now another thing, like for anybody who's, I'm just trying to check the time here as well. I don't want to waste your time.
No pressure.
So I know like there's so many other like young people who look up to someone like you.
True.
And maybe, I think, you know, at times I think people see, they've watched the TV show, they watch you, or maybe they follow you like on social media, and maybe they see what you're doing, and then they're like, come on, nani amefanya. See hata me, I can do it.
For sure.
Do you think that's something that's accurate just because you've been able to execute nice characters and just like propel? Because like even saying 6 years, honestly speaking, 6 years, you've done quite a lot with 6 years, which not so many people can be able to move, especially in the Kenyan industry. 6 years, you can't move the same way you've moved.
For sure. I'd say the accuracy is in the success. Because of course unaona nime succeed, umeniona hapo, so you understand mi ni one of the idols, niko like huyu ni icon, nezataka kunini. That is so accurate. Chenye haujui ni the work I've been putting in. So in as much as una admire, which I'd say chenye for me what really kept me on the ground ni I believe in myself so much, and I maximize a lot on what I know what I wanna be. So the process haijainishtua for the longest time. The process haijainishtua. So ndio maana hizi times zenye nimetaka ku give up nimeendelea, because I'd tell you for free, any actor mwenye anataka ku come up, wejua kuna ile time utataka ku give up. Hiyo lazima. You'll be tested.
You'll
definitely be tested. So what's gonna keep you going is how much do you want it? Is it, are you doing it for fun, or this is who you are? Because for me naifanya for fulfillment. It's my life. Being an artist is my, I live best nikicreate when that's when I'm myself, you know. So I think times zenye nimekuwa pabaya, chenye nimeshikilia ni hiyo talent na hiyo belief na hiyo passion, and imeni keep going hadi sasa nimefika place yenye naanza ku divert, nikisema nikitaka sasa nikitafuta vitu za ku fill in kwa hizo gaps. Also I think tumekuwa tukiambiwa hii kitu from kitambo ya look for something else to sustain you as an actor, of which naanza kuelewa maybe wamekuwa wakituambia wrong. Instead I think wangekuwa wanatuambia, wanatupatia hizi options za unaona kaa hii talk yenye tuna have sahi, when you get this amount of money, wekelea hapa, fanya hizi vitu. Sisi, of which I think hii may contribute to a lot of failed actors wenye probably wameingia crew, because walikuwa unaambiwa tafuta kitu ingine. The moment umeitafuta inamaanisha haufanyi kitu
unataka. You've left ile now the one thing that you are passionate about.
Exactly. Unaenda kuchase for like a decade, ndo unasema now I need to go back.
That's
to
jana
nilimit one of my friends, tumeact naye, tulianza naye pamoja. Sasa ameshift anafanya 8 to 5, and we had a talk, na unaweza ona the sadness yenye akona yeye hadi anani admire. Niko like I understand because I've stayed true to it. But I understand why uliende your side, of which anytime ukitaka kurudi we rudi. But sasa this time ukikam, you know better.
Because you see, like even when I say that sadness, like because even for me I can see like when I was chasing like just my path, the same way when you mesema like with your friend una see the sadness, it's because when he sees you, it's because of you're a constant reminder to what he didn't chase.
Exactly.
Because you're like, I was with him. Alikuwa kando yangu, we were acting, we were talking about this. And then saya naona zako zikikam into nini. And then the best thing about like just even now the internet and just how different things are working out, there's somebody watching that character and they'd want you for something. Because like for you, I can tell like you learn some really big roles like in future. I mean, as long as you just maintain like, you know, I think it's just sanity you need to maintain because the industry is not.
For sure. Actually, mi nilianzia huko juu, nilianza na Netflix. That was like my first feature film. Unaona? So, of course, I know chenye tu like venye unasema ni hiyo sanity. Because now I understand that mind yangu ndio my greatest asset. So once I take care of it, once I be intentional, once I do the work, stay focused, hizi vitu ziukam. So ni venye for the longest time tunaichukuanga tu kama unaona see these guys who used to come to school wana kuinspire alafu wanaenda. I think your time maybe tukua tuna understand inspiration ni ya nini. But ideally now I understand that once you stay true to yourself and you know where you wanna go, the process haitawai kushtua. So una maneuver too. I mean, that's the point of life. Una maneuver as you
figure it out.
Yeah, you stay focused too. Because I think that's the only constant thing that should baki kwa life ya mtu. Right?
And one thing is, I think even now where you've gotten to the position where you're in, I think now you understand maybe how we're being told maybe like if you're consistent in something, those results will finally start to show.
For sure.
And it's very true because even if you watch maybe back in school or people you used to know, those people you remember who never used to give up at all, they're just consistent in what they're doing. There is no way they haven't been rewarded. You'll see a big change.
Definitely, because I mean, pia the universe, I mean, naona. You can't put in the work. Hiyo time yote alafu ikose kupay off.
It's actually impossible.
Lazima itakureward so long as ushajua, of which pia not to do blame games, but pia naweza sema our kind of system iko corrupt. Me personally CBC I think inanibamba because some of us education is not the way out.
True.
Some of us ni hiyo talent itani. Alafu unajua talent ni kitu you blow, because I can tell you do yenye mimi neza pata for 3 months kuna doki ata have work for a year and aipate.
That's true.
Na hizo ndo dynamics
that's
the
true.
life.
That's true.
Hizo ndo dynamics the life. Because I understand that you just have to, you can never cheat the process. So once I think ina take some amount of self-awareness of which kama tungekuwa tunafunzwa hizi vitu mapema unaanza kuget your approach ndo nisiende kusoma kitu yenye probably haitachangia.
And how many people have you seen wameenda wakastudy something for like 4 or 5 years and then they go do something completely different?
Exactly, it makes the process longer.
Wasted time, money, resources, network, relationships, all those things, and you've multiplied it like times 10 before you get to like the dream that you're actually chasing. And then now like another thing that I also don't want to forget, like is there a role that you can be given right now as an actor who say, by the no, this I can't act?
Yeah. Yeah, like, for sure.
What roles wouldn't you pick?
First, it's not even about the role. First, kwenye nimefika saa, it's about the story. How important is this story? Why do I need to tell it? The why has to make sense.
I'll give you an example. It's a very good story, but they want you to act like a child sexual predator. So you have to get into the character, build. Remember, you can get stuck in that role. So you're studying it for like a whole year.
For sure.
And then you do it for like a whole year. Is that something? Because I think I don't know which actor alikuwa amesema, that's one role he can't pick. And you know, the craziest part why I'm asking that, it's because also like on Volume, you had a very interesting role. And I was just watching and I'm like, this is interesting because the character, the guy Smalls, was gay, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So constantly how you were taking it, you're like, am I seeing my own things? Because you're like analyzing, you're like, I'm seeing this guy's in me. So you see like such things and even like, and I think that was such a nice story because it shows also like some things that now are happening, like even in society. Like, you know, may have nothing against Nini. And I think once you're in entertainment, the arts industry, you'll come to understand and accept, like, trust me, like, sexuality is like the least of your concern. Because so many different people are moving in very many different ways. And I think that's what I'm saying, like, even for volume, I like that was included because these are some things that generally people actually go through. And your character in the show, ilikuwa zile za, this guy is looking a bit...
Exactly.
Yeah, he's looking a bit fishy. But everybody else is like, just like ignoring it.
I understand it.
Which role wouldn't you pick? And I'm not even talking about like even just the storyline, but even like Smalls to execute that role. It was really nice.
Yeah, I got to understand that kazi yangu na venye nataka kuidu sina any limit so far yenye nimejiekea. When it comes to doing like queer roles nini.
Yeah, if they give you like an extra flamboyant like queer guy, would you play?
Of course, I would.
You would?
I have done a queer role before.
Really?
I have done and that was my worst experience. Nilitoka hapo nikiwa homophobic as fuck. And I think it's cause nikido your project ilikuwa some theater show.
Yeah.
Mi ilinipata nikiwa kwa ile space ya I wanna explore my range nijue nini naweza do.
How can I challenge myself?
So I did it with that mentality. Na sikuwa najua ni nini na get into. Wow. So after kufanya hiyo show sai nika understand I can, of course, I mean I'm an actor, siezi mind ni venye sasa kuna chenye tani limit ni nini nafanya. Ni nini nafanya kama na act kama seme kapolongo ni boy nini, it's like it's a queer role kabisa.
Would you do that?
I do that. I do that. I just need to know ndo maana nakwambia it triples down to my why.
That's why I respect actors by the
because unaweza pata it also. I think in narrative ya for maybe if you don't really know your stand ama kama bado ujui jani yako ni napi, maybe hujajua vizuri, or maybe that things about.
You don't think if you act as a gay role, like especially like nowadays I see like unaona like you remember, and I don't know if they chose to do this because like on Volume they had sex scenes, right?
Yeah.
The sex scenes, like even when Smalls was having like a threesome at the brothel with like those ninis. And I think maybe like which other TV show like ilikuwa na intense like gay scenes, Empire. You see how like they had like some really like intense like roles.
Yeah.
So if like you were given such a role, would you be able to execute that?
At the moment, ukiniuliza swali sai, hizo ndo vitu zinani-scare about doing a queer role, because niko like how far do you want to take this? Nikishajua how far tunaitake, of course kuna vitu how far are we going? Nini tunaenda kudu hapa hivi? So sasa ukiniuliza swali nakwambia I'm open to bring such a story to life, such a character to life. Limit niko nayo sasa ni kuna vitu mob sijui about your space zenye by the time napata role ka hiyo lazima ni understand fully ni nini nafanya.
I think that's where you actually get tested like proper as an actor, because I'm just guessing if you have 3 seasons to act that role and then utakuwa kwa intense, because you know you can see like just a scene like okay it's gay people like talking, but if there are sessions where you have to make out,
bro,
you're making out, you're being put like in bed, and then you can only imagine you're doing this for 3 seasons, and it's not just about acting anymore. Now you have friends and family.
Actually, acting
you have an uncle who's like, hey, we bana.
Alafu najua pia kuna hiyo perspective yenye wasi uko nayo ya kama nimeact gangster mimi naweza kama nimekuwa queer, kama nimeact queer, alafu pia mimi kitu inanishtua na Hollywood at the moment is I've seen people have done queer roles and then I come to realize they're queer in real life. So inanipatia confusion ya
is it acting?
Does it gonna define me? Is this role gonna define who I am? So hizo ndio maswali zile ngumu zenye nasema until then it's not in my radar to do it. Until then because sai ndakwambia for sure hizo vitu zinaniskea na najua kwenye naenda lazima I'm
because you have a very strong personal, you know how to bring like strong personalities kwa characters, ukisha embody like a character. So I mean, for any writer who's looking at your work, they'll be like, hey, by the way, Semati anataka how much? Let's multiply that by 4.
They are gonna trust me.
They will.
They will.
Like mwambie times 4, and then now they're like, okay, now you have to get into this character. And I'm trying to think about like, I think it's going to be so strange if you'll come out acting like that for like a whole year and it doesn't affect your sexuality a bit.
I would say you need theory ama perspective.
Yeah.
What I know where I am at the moment is I know I'm an actor and I wanna bring stories to life, characters to life. And ukiwa ukiniona kwa screen nafanya a queer role specifically, ujue najua nini nafanya. Ujue tu I got this. I got this.
No, I'm doing my job.
I'm doing my job and I know because pia nimetoka kwa hiyo mentality ya my characters define me. Because what I now understand is my goal, especially what I understand with acting, is I have to bring the most authentic character to screen. And bora najua kuingia na kutoka. Because lazima kama actor unaona easy heavy roles, you have to de-roll, lazima kuwe na mtu anakusaidia. Psychiatrist, therapist, nini. You have to have those people by your side so that it's unfortunate that so far wenye nimeona ina turn out kukua part of their lives, which I understand in affecting mtu hadi una feel ni kama it can chances ni so high. So yeah, I mean I'm standing on business and I'm so open-minded and I'm so intentional with my art.
I respect that. And then okay, what else do I want to ask before like I think no I haven't forgotten like so now even when you're acting and you're balancing all these things, are you able to have like just a normal like relationship? Because another thing even we'll notice with like musicians or anyone in entertainment, because you know how like now just relationships, jealousy, it's kind of really hard to, if it's an artist, a rapper, kuna some girls coming on stage and unajua mtu ana dance anatwakiwa with all those tuninis just to spice up like the entertainment. But are you able to have like a normal relationship considering like even maybe like just your characters are like playboy, like you've played here playboy, and maybe you have like rehearsals with certain like actresses and maybe like now your partner has to understand that it can also affect your acting because you're supposed to be in character but now you're thinking like, hey, see, maybe this will offend and then now you start showing unprofessionalism like on
I hear you.
Are you able to have like a normal relationship when you're doing
the last time I tried it was a normal relationship. Ni venye tulikuwa na hizo fights hiyo jealousy ni natural. Alafu najua hata kama si ukataa hapa sando professionalism ina come in. So kama unafaa kuwa maybe manzi yangu for 6 months, nafasana ni move to your space ya we're interacting as characters na tuko na boundaries na bado tuna interact as actors because ina hii kitu haribu job because
I was about to go there by the way.
Kitu haribu job every damn time. Hata mimi ni victim because I remember my very first girlfriend nikiwa setbook tulikuwa tuna act kama Simon Grusha and then we fell in love.
Of course.
Kumbe you know ni characters zili fall in love of which sisi ni victims wa hizo vitu. So you have to really stay ready because ikikupata uko shaky utaanza kudu hizi vitu unprofessional. So nimekuwa nikiadmire approach za Hollywood actors. I now understand that our say like for you to be an actor, you have to know thyself. You have to have yourself first. Ndio uweze ku bring other people to life. Because the moment you bring other people to life, unaweza jipoteza hapo ndani na uanze kuishi hiyo maisha ya character. So I've had nimedate before, nimekuwa na hizo talks nini. Ni venye tu I think pia universe understand chenye unadu. So naona kama mimi ni actor, of course sitaacha kuact juu whoever is by my side ako like I mean hata doki utoa mtu utroza na mdunga shindano imanishi kuna kitu inaendelea hapo. So it's a learning process. And then professionalism ni kitu unaenda ukilearn day by day, because hata sahi talks zenye tuko nazo in the industry is if I have an intimate scene with whoever, kuna coach, kuna wase wako wameletwa set specifically for that. Tulikuwa tuna have conversation na my fellow actors, tunasema venye hizi scenes zinakam usiende set hadi kukistu mtu hivyo, it's bila their consent, without being tested. Unaona vitu kama hizo. So tumeanza kubridge hizi gap za professionalism sasa. So I'm so confident that by the time our industry is open to characters crazy in the society, itakuwa handled well, because now you'll have someone. Hata mimi naweza taka the next time I play a psychopath, a killer or whoever, niko na mtu mwenye ako ana take care of my mental health.
True.
The moment ako na mimi when I go in, ako na mimi when I go out. So hizo ni gap zenye tumeanza kuzibridge, because now again we understand the art ni crazy, because you have to
even just in the industry in general, you'll notice like just by proximity of someone and you hanging, doing your lines together and in, I've seen so many people like in the industry they're interdating, but I'm like, hey, we see this will be kind of tricky if you guys like break up or and you know you're not affecting just yourself, like you're affecting the whole show, because you guys, the whole production is messed up, because now emotions I don't even want to be there anymore, and
because you become the character fully,
now fully.
And kitu najua ni once you breathe the boundary, once umeivuka kurudi itakuwa tricky sana.
And you can even be blacklisted, I'm guessing.
Ni vile sasa hiyo hata itushtuangi siku hizi.
Oh really?
Kukuwa blacklisted, you mean by the industry or by the
this guy is just not professional.
Hata mi currently nimekuwa kwa hiyo list.
Yeah, blacklisting. You can't be blacklisted, come on.
Bro, what's going on in the industry is ukianza kujielewa na unaanza ku create path yako, wanaanza kuona ni kama unakuwa diva. So kuna vitu zenye ukiitisha inaanza kuonekana nikaa wewe. So they put you aside, which ni kitu pia mimi niliovercome, because I mean one production haiwezi zima nyota yangu.
That's true.
And I can do my own stuff, unajua. So it's no longer a threat. But on the flip side, ina affecting watu sana. Ina ku-affect. So lazima, just like any other thing, venye the rest of the guys approach their careers, pia sisi tumefika kwa hiyo space ya you have to approach this as work. Kuna actor naitwa Wakio Mzenge. She's one of the best we have.
Kenyan.
She's called Wakio Mzenge. She's one of the best. So ni wase wamenimenta. Na sasa kuna kitu alisema ni, especially for her, when she's approaching a character, she lends her body to the character.
What does that mean?
So what that means is I put myself, so this is part of the process for us as actors. Nikipewa character, part of uchambuzi ni ndo mimi alafu neka character hapa.
Okay.
So there's a clear space hapa katikati. And then lending herself inamaanisha anaichukua kama kazi, kama naifanya
for today, and then I leave this character
akimaliza anaachana naye, which is a very psychological process, but ina happen.
And that's tricky. Very tricky.
it happens, yeah.
And I think that's why I still say, like, I really do respect, like, even just from like watching what I've watched already, I was like, hey, I wasn't taking like a lot of actors seriously. But even after watching, I'm like, okay, this is good stuff by the way, because what wako in character.
Exactly.
And also like maybe one more thing that I would ask as we're summarizing is like, is there any scene that has been memorable and very exciting for you to act? And then is there like maybe a scene, character, or maybe series that you just didn't enjoy? Because you don't want to appear to trash the director, but tunasema like you just didn't have a good time doing it. Or you're uncomfortable. Because okay, I'm just doing it, but you know.
For sure. Yeah, of course nimekuwa na scenes zenye nimeenjoy. For the characters, you're talking about both screen and stage.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're talking about the most memorable ones. Zenye unasema, this one was really good for me. Loved it.
Zenye, I'd say zenye, I feel like siku explore fully or tuzi aziku ni nini kabisa. My latest character anaitwa SK. It's for Mantain Kantai. Yeah, I feel like uyo boy neza kuna moments zenye siku attach nayo fully. So I had some nikiwatch nimefeel kuna some horrible moments nilikuwa nazo. And then when I did the queer show, show bedeko
iko traumatized
ikunibamba. Hiyo na ikunibamba fully. Hiyo show ikunibamba kabisa hao.
You're just like any this one
hapana. Walini hao nakonga nimeka kwa my worst nini zenye nimedo.
It was because of the scenes, the actors, ama just the experience general was just something you're not used to?
It's the experience kwanza, because it was a totally new space. Trust me, nilikunywa daily. Sikuwahi fanyuka nikiwa sober. Hadi rehearsals, I was drunk.
You're like, yeah, this is too much for me.
I was drunk. I didn't alafu so on the show day, we did tulikuwa na like a talk na the community nini. Apparently niliongea vibaya. Kuna kitu niliwaambia that hawakutake vizuri, which was very sensitive to them. So ikafanya tu nitakesa kuunderstand hii world inakaaje. So that the next time napatikana na kitu kai nisiingie na hiyo mentality ya me I just wanna nini my range, because now I understand niko na range neza kuwa anyone. So lazima inipate place poa. So that has to be one of the worst things I ever did. Memorable, very good moments zenye nimekuwa nayo both screen and nini. There's a role I did, that was my first lead role kwa theater. Niliwaifanya mzae fulani alikuwa anaitwa Ouma. Nilikuwa na very very beautiful moments. Very very beautiful moments, because and for me, having beautiful moments with a character inamaanisha nime embrace your character na feel from the authentic point of view na bring to life. Adi na hizo moments si planned, ni zile zenye uko unazikumbuka uko like damn.
And is that because you're seeing like even the crowd reaction, like because you're in theater,
especially for stage,
because now you're seeing like their reaction, not you see like okay,
you see the feedback immediately. Uko like okay, but mostly kuna kongana hiyo inner satisfaction yenye that's the one I'm talking about. Hiyo inakujanga, your self satisfaction is very important, because saa zingine unapata maybe also this is something I've learned. The audience is never dumb. They know, alafu wana watch na wana understand when you're telling the truth or when you're not. So when you're feeling the moment, they're definitely gonna feel the moment. Now definitely nikidu Castro, because Castro nilimu explore fully. Nikona a lot of beautiful I think each and every moment on screen is so memorable. It's super memorable.
It was actually, and the crazy thing is that I was trying, because I had been told like just look for any of the series that Francis has played, but I would recommend like now Volume, and then they recommended Kantai.
Untying Kantai.
So I remember, and that's crazy because like even for you, I can now actually tell you because I started playing Untying Kantai. I started playing it, and then I'm watching it. I think maybe it's because like once you're used to consuming like TikTok feed and Instagram, your attention span is like
not really good,
so I'm watching, and then I'm like, okay, I'll come back to this.
For sure,
So I let that one stop. I put it on pause here, and then I went to the living room. As I was eating, kasema, let me just play now Volume and like actually see. So Volume starts, I'm seeing Kwanzaa skating. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'm seeing drone shots, Nini. I'm seeing Gangsta Kidogo. For sure. And I was like immediately hooked. And then I just watched like the whole thing like back to back. Yeah. So this other one, maybe it's just because the script was slightly slow, but I understand how the other character would draw someone immediately, and then you are really good at it. So somebody's like, okay, let me watch.
Yeah, that's one of my best characters yet, because that was like a stepping stone. Mini actor mnoma sana. Mini mbaya na niko na range. I can be anything, anyone. Bora tu nime prepare, which is always my goal.
Yeah.
Because na believe sana na mantra ya ukipewa perform. I mean, uko na one job, so you gotta tell the truth. You gotta tell the story truthfully. Yeah. So I really immerse myself in the characters to make sure, because the pia ndo satisfaction yangu inakam. That's when like I'm living my best life. Unajua.
True.
So hiyo ni one of them. Ndo tu nimeanza, ndo nimeingia kwa industry sa vizuri.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now just to wind it up.
Yeah.
Like what's the one thing that you think maybe right now, just in person, or even like just to the industry, that if you like just got it now or achieved, it would make you happy? Because happiness is relative to a lot of different people.
For sure.
But what's the one thing? Because I think once you get one thing, maybe now you're like, okay, I've achieved this, but maybe the next stepping stone that I want to need is this. But what would be like the one thing right now that you think maybe you're striving, you're looking for, or maybe you're just waiting for it to land in your hand, and you can say it will make me happy right now?
Right now, niko na list ya vitu tatu. One, I really wanna do a biographical film yenye napewa like an icon in the, like a real person, mse mwenye I've lived, nimemuona ama watu wamemuona. That's one of, nikipewa ujue naishi life. I really wanna do an action film because I have a background in martial arts. Yeah, I did taekwondo. My teenage life nimefanya taekwondo. So ile sikutaniona kwa action film.
Nice action packed film.
Mbaya sana. The next one is sports. I really wanna bring to life sportsmen to
sport characters.
Zinanibamba sana. Also, hizo ni 3 zenye nikipata saa hii itakuwa my heart will rejoice. But pia trajectory niko sahi na art yangu, niko kwa hiyo space ya I wanna be people who are not artists, ndio niweze kuexplore life. Like niende nikue daktari, niende nikue wenye hawako kwa reda yangu kabisa.
Something completely different.
Something completely I wanna see myself nikiwa kwa hizo space zenye iko so away from who I am. Si artist, si nini because chenye acting pia nakufanyanga ni inakupea experience ya life on a broader screen. So nikipewa kama nimekuwa nikiwatch reality shows, and then I'm like, damn, these people, like it's another art in itself.
It's a whole different
whole. So naanza ku understand approach yangu ya ku get into character. It's all about it has to come from within. Ndo uweze ku create mtu, lazima utoe mtu uko ndani. So characters ka hizo zinani intrigue sana.
Okay. Now another thing. I know I keep saying like,
No pressure. Let's
finally,
go.
but I still have like just a few
go.
more, few more. So now like let's say for something like even Castro, and I've seen like other TV shows. There is a lot of Kiswahili included, like in the
for sure.
in the script. Is there something that you've done probably that is completely and just purely like just English. Without any like Swahili lingo thrown in it?
Not yet.
Apart from theater?
Not yet. Yeah, not
so
yet.
It still has a mix of
and it's very intentional because nilikuwa sana na yan for something so homely, something that I relate with, chenye ina identify probably na background yangu ama na mimi, so sikuwa nadai kuanzia cause me like 90% nimelelewa Mathare, so background ya huko ni tunaongeanga Kiswahili, tunaongeanga Sheng nini. So that was something that was close to me and Castro.
So the character was easy to tap into. So
nilikuwa natafuta tu perspective mostly. So not yet, but definitely sooner or later you're gonna see me in that space, because I can do it.
Because and just my thought process is like, for just how these international roles at times, they just pick somebody, they're like, hey, we want to include someone from Kenya, maybe with an accent, but still we want to maybe convert them to like an international role.
Sure.
Because let's say and I think it's interesting because even for you saying that, like, of course, growing up in Mathare and Nini, still like you're tied into your roots.
Of course, yeah.
And it's easy for you to pick like bits and pieces that, like being in the hood and everything. And now let's take an example for someone like Lupita. I think also like for her, it was easy to tap into international because from her background as maybe international school, living in different ninis. But also now I think the biggest reward would be crossing over to international now, because of course we can't take for granted like, our Kenyan is really good. But I think landing one role, maybe international, it's almost like a dream for any person who's acting locally, I'm guessing. Not unless I'm wrong, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, potato. Because pia mimi sahi niko so hungry about Hollywood coming to me other than me going to your space. But what I know is such roles zikikuja, I always want them to find me ready, because language ni kitu neza learn. So international ikicall, tunashika simu na tuna up game. Tuna up game and we do what we gotta do.
Okay. So I think maybe I've just touched on like as many things I could, and I don't want to like push it too far. I would rather like maybe call you for a part 2. But I don't know, maybe like if I was to just get like a little feedback for what you think about like just the podcast and what we've done like so far. What do you think about the podcast?
I like it. It's so accommodating. But the main reason why I like it, it's because you have a totally different perspective from chenye nimezoea. Because my best moments inakonga nikimit mse mwenye ajai ni watch totally. Ama mwenye ayuko so ana hiyo knowledge. Unaona saka you haven't watched a lot of Kenyan, so it brings a very fresh perspective to the picture. So kama leo nikikwambia kuhusu story na art ni nini, ningekuwa podcast ingine ya mtu mwenye ana understand art venye mimi na understand. Saa zingine hiyo talk inakonga boring cause ama inakuwa enclosed. Iko na certain format tu ya. Exactly. But now I like it cause wewe come from a place of haujui. Na so unakam na open mind.
I'm asking, I'm just asking.
Which is, I mean nimefanya tumepiga story. So that is one thing I like. And of course I like your studio.
Thank you.
I really like your studio. So I'd say the ambience is right. Hapa kuna a lot of good energy.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate it. So now, of course, we have to end it, guys, by there. But, in case of anything, you can always just either slide in his DM, reach out to any of his platforms, but I'll let him like just tell you where you can find him, social platforms, or even if you're trying to contact him for maybe a collab or gig or whatever, like, you know, like so many other different opportunities that can come.
When is this episode gonna air?
I think I want it to air around before you do like your show.
Oh, right.
Because especially now that you've mentioned the date, I want it to drop like maybe around May. You've said May?
Yeah, the show is end of May.
Okay, so I think May would be the appropriate because just to give you context, I shoot so much in advance. And if this was to drop, like have scheduled everything else, it would drop in November because I have content for till November. I have content for till November. Yeah.
Like that. Okay, you have ukona vitu kwa store.
Because if I've dropped the person now who I shot the episode with earlier, that means like, in fact, for this week I've shot 4. So that's, if one is dropping every week, I have content for 1 month in 1 week.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think May would be like appropriate.
Right. Find me on social media. Hii mwaka by then nimekuwa content creator vibaya sana. I'm just exploring too. So find me on the socials, Faiz Francis Ouma. Ouma ni double-A, na of course underscore hapo katikati hizo vitu zote. So yeah, I reply by the way to all of my DMs. Na sikizanga unasema nini. And whenever you see this, wejua 2025 I'm dropping my first one-man show at the theaters. I mean, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to have the experience. So time yenye utaona hii kitu, show iko 31st of May and 1st of June. So yeah, tickets zitakuwa, I think by the time ina drop, tickets zitakuwa 2K.
Okay.
And nitakuwa nisha confirm venue. So sahi hapo ndio akili iko. And that's what I'm doing for the first half of the year.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, man, I have nothing but respect for you. Like, you know, you actually challenged me to actually now start consuming like even like local content, which I wasn't. And I feel so bad because like I really do watch like a lot of movies and series. So I'll take more initiative to actually now
I'll
tap
be
into the community.
Ndakuwa na kutumia tu hapo ina drop.
I appreciate.
And then uchague.
I appreciate. Right? I respect that a lot. So we have to say goodbye, guys. And, you know, like as usual, just please, if you need to ask any questions, you can DM me about the podcast, or if it's about like the acting industry, don't hesitate, reach out to him and, you know, he'll give you the feedback that you actually want.
Yes, sir. Stay authentic.
Cheers, guys. We have to say goodbye. The Kisscapades podcast is your gateway to holistic growth and personal transformation. Together we'll unlock the secrets to living a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness. So make sure to tune in every week and join us as we explore the essence of what it means to truly thrive. And lastly, show us some love and support in our social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, basically all the social media platforms that, you know, support podcasting will definitely be there. Even with the short clips and reels, you can find us there. And lastly, don't be shy with feedback, suggestions, or any questions that you might have in regards to the episodes or our podcast. It's the Kisscapades Podcast. Goodbye.